What's up? We made it to Moundsville.
Take pictures of this.
Ronnie, say hi.
Moundsville.
What's up, Middletown? Supernatural. We are here. Let me see if I can turn it around real quick.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty flowers at the
We are here at Moundsville State Penitentiary.
Don't tempt me with a good time. We'll do it at night.
We're gonna take a tour. First, we're gonna look around. So I was here a while ago and did a tour, investigated a couple years ago.
Compensating? I think so.
Probably. A little bit, we'll go over there. It's on the Mound, Indian Mound Museum.
So is that where we have to park tonight?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll park in the same spot.
Okay. Too bad they don't let us drive in.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, I
I
just
thought I
want to
had this
know
thing figured out where that
Are you ready?
fire safe thing would go off.
Ready to investigate?
Yes, I'm ready to investigate. Let's go investigate. We at the West Virginia State Penitentiary.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be investigating from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. There's only 8 of us tonight, so it should be good. Look at these gates.
I like these gates. Can we have these at home?
Wait.
I will do it.
Well, I'm kidding. Fine.
Woo! I'm back. So we're here, about to do a tour. We'll see you in a little bit.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started. My name's Garrett. I'll be the tour guide. It'll take about 90 minutes or so, but we'll still get to see about 95% of this prison. A lot of cool, creepy stuff to look at and talk about. Now, I actually used to be a corrections officer before this. Did not work here because I would have been 3 when it shut down. Now, I just worked right down the road at Northern Regional Jail and Correctional Facility. It is a maximum security prison. I just tell people that because a lot of inmates that lived here had to move over there, and I had to watch a lot of them pretty much every single day. Well, where we are is the former West Virginia State Penitentiary. We opened in 1866 and closed in 1995. It means this prison was open for 129 years. A lot of people don't realize this, but the entire north half of this prison is all inmate built. Prison wasn't here. So we just put the inmates to work to build their own home. All the stones that you see from here all the way down outside are all hand cut, carved, and laid by the inmates. Well, we never paid them, so a lot of politics got involved. They thought it was too inhumane, or the inmates were going to try to milk the clock. So we had to quit using inmates and actually hire contractors and construction crews to build the entire south down. Biggest waste of money because of the years difference. Took the inmates 33 years, contractors 30. 3 years difference, all that money wasted. The reason why I say that is because when we get out to the south yard, you'll be able to see that the inmates actually did a much better job. Now this first room, this is your non-contact visitation. This is where the inmates used to sit. Well, the visitors came in just like y'all did, fully searched upon entry and made their way around the outside of this room. There was also another issue. A lot of the visitors got caught bringing in drugs to the inmates. They were bringing in dollar bills laced in liquid LSD that they would roll super tight and just slide through those little holes in the grates behind you.
That's crazy.
And trust me, it's doable. Now, the officers did the best they could to get rid of that, and that's why you see the phone jacks above the windows. Inmates actually preferred it because it gave them more privacy. Now, believe it or not, we actually have a mascot or star of the show for this prison. It's just old Sparky. This is the original electric chair that was used here. 9 people died in this chair. Fun fact, it's also inmate built. Inmate by the name of Paul Glenn was our carpenter by trade. We didn't want to spend any more money hiring somebody to make one, so we just used another inmate. We sent him over to Ohio State Penitentiary where their chair was. He drew up all their blueprints. We just brought him back here where he built this chair out of solid oak. But y'all can imagine an inmate building an electric chair for other inmates. Didn't make it very popular.
Yeah.
A lot of inmates tried to kill him. So we just had to transfer him to a completely different prison out of state just for health reasons, for his own safety. So how the chair works, 3 black buttons were the kill switches, only one of them actually worked, the other 2 were duds. Nobody knew exactly which one was the right one except for the electrician who hooked it up to the warden. It's because we always used the officers to push the buttons. They all had to put their names into a bucket, and they shake it up and draw 3 names out. If your name got called, you had to push a button. But if you refused, you were automatically fired and lost your entire state pension right there on the spot. Now, well, all 3 of them refused. The board is just gonna send them on their way out the door, and he's just gonna march right over here, push the right button, and collect $25. Oh yeah.
That's what.
Now, a lot of people ask me if this is where the chair was used. No, but I also tell them it'd be pretty cool if it was, because you get your family in here visiting a bunch of inmates and somebody's getting lit up at the front door. Oh yeah. But no, we just had to lock up old Sparky in here because it used to be out there on display, but too many people got greedy and started stealing pieces off of it for souvenirs. I don't know who'd want to do that. Not me. Its original home was in our death house, our 2-story white building that used to be out in the north yard, and that is where we did all the hangings and the electrocutions. But we'll still get to see the bottom part of it at least. It actually brings me to talk about our death count, which happens to be extremely high. A lot of people think Alcatraz is worse than this. Well, their death count's only 29. Ours, just from 1920 to 1995, just 75 years, 998 inmate deaths happened inside this prison. That doesn't even include the 85 hangings or the 9 electrocutions. So that's why they rated us top 3 most violent prisons in the entire country. Now we're just top 10 most haunted. Pretty cool. But yeah, besides all that fun stuff, we're going to get to see a lot of beautiful artwork at least. All the artwork that we're going to see today is also inmate done. It's all freehand, so it just goes to show how much wasted talent we actually have here. But if y'all are ready to get locked up in this place, follow me.
Let's do it. Get in line! Cool. That's where the guy would stand and shoot people down.
Where to go now?
They just locked us in.
With a shotgun. I'm telling you,
All
someone shooting with a
right.
shotgun.
This is your main hall or main street. The wall that y'all see back there behind the fence is just a fence wall. We built that to hide our haunted house attraction in Culpepper.
So this would actually run the whole entire way down?
250 feet back. Now, new wall pointing to the right, that's your general population area. Now, this side of the prison actually housed your worst of the worst. We had anywhere from serial rapists, serial murderers, drug lords, gang leaders, we had them all. You could actually have about 200 to 300 inmates in this hallway at one time because a lot of the new wall inmates were allowed to have jobs. Thing is, we were so understaffed, we had no choice but to put one unarmed officer in this hallway with all the inmates.
One?
Yep.
Can we look outside?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be going out there anyway.
Okay.
Is someone else in here?
Yes.
Okay.
They're like state troopers down there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they like.
I was like, what was that?
Now I heard last time I was here, I don't know if the story was true or not. Did they actually shoot people through there with a shotgun? Okay,
That's why the yellow lines and red lines exist.
gotcha.
Yellow lines are just there to walk past and go throughout the prison, but the red line is only going back. Because if you're going back to your cells, you have to be up against this wall in a single file line with your arm on the wall as high as it will go. Your other arm is on the shoulder of the inmate in front of you. Your head has to be down and your mouth has to be shut at all times.
Jeez.
But if any inmates happen to cross that red line for any reason, if you think about it, one unarmed officer right here amongst all the inmates, his only form of protection was the officer in that gun ring.
Right.
He had a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun and a .357 mag handgun. That's because if any inmate should cross the line, he'd shoot and kill them on sight. No questions asked. We even had problems with inmates if they didn't like each other, they'd trip each other up and push them over the line so they'd be shot and killed.
Jesus. I don't like you.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
nuts.
They actually did force us to shut down.
Yeah.
They hit us pretty hard. We broke the 8th Amendment, which is cruel and unusual punishment. A lot of officers and wardens abuse their power here, but honestly, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
We got paid $8 an hour to deal with all this.
Safety too. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
have any of the guards been seriously injured from
Some.
some?
But not really that I can think of.
Better safe than sorry then.
Yeah. I'll put it to you this way, this prison is only supposed to hold about 1,600 inmates, but we've actually had almost 3,000 in here at one
Wow.
time.
That's a lot.
It's like last year, we went to Ohio State funeral for last year, and it's just unbelievable how many people they had there.
Oh, wait till you see ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sells it.
Well, we went up to that, attic, they had them up in there too. It was
Here's also another fun fact for the prison. They deemed the entire thing to be unlivable. From 1866 to 1995, and still to this day, no central air heat. That's why we're not open in the wintertime, because of how dangerous it is in here.
Yeah.
You can actually skate on this floor. Inmates were only allowed one blanket and one jacket, and that's it. They actually woke up every morning in frost-covered blankets.
Jesus.
So a lot of inmates died just from hypothermia. Summertime's just as bad as y'all can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets much worse than this. But luckily we don't have such a hot summer, so
Yeah.
we actually had somebody with a temperature gun that went up to the top tiers of the cells and recorded their temperatures. It ranges anywhere from 150 to 200 degrees.
Yikes.
It's almost like enough to cook dinner.
Yeah.
Got some eggs.
This is basically enough.
Cook some eggs.
A lot of inmates died from heat strokes. But if y'all are ready, we're gonna head on down to contact visitation in the old cafeteria. Just kind of watch her step in this little narrow hallway, because the floor is raised and kind of cracked. But I like to reassure everybody we're in good hands because the officer called off sick, so we don't really have to follow the rules today.
No.
Since it is a smaller room, you'll notice that there's a lot of blind spots. So here's your next gun hole. Wait till you see where the other one is and how you have about 4 feet to shake anybody in the woods.
Here's another one.
Be like Troy on Swamp People. Shoot that in here.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, Ninja Turtles, they're carrying uniforms.
I know there's a lot to look at, but we're gonna go over what all this used to be real quick. Just the old cafeteria. Everything that you see here was not here. It was just completely wide open. And it actually went about 350 feet back that way, and we actually fit about 300 inmates in here at one time. Here's just how bad our living conditions were. We were infested with rats the size of small cats and dogs. They'd jump up on your table and try to eat your food. Well, you scare them away, they're gonna make their way to the drop ceiling, get stuck and die. Flies swarm and maggots form. We actually interviewed a bunch of inmates when the prison shut down, and a lot of them stated that a lot of times it actually felt like it was pouring down rain inside the cafeteria just from all the maggots falling from the ceiling. They're laying in your hair, clothes, and food, but if you're eating rice like that, you'd never know. Just have some added protein. Oh, it gets better. Kitchen wasn't. It was awful because the inmates cooking your food weren't even required to wear hair natural gloves. So you're eating hair, dandruff, fingernails, hangnails, all kinds of nasty stuff. Top it all off, we also had sewage problems, which would back up a lot of times and flood the floor while they're cooking. So the inmates are just walking around fresh feces while they're cooking other people's food. Some of the officers also stated at night doing their security checks. Sometimes the floors looked like they were actually moving or covered in shag carpets. That's just from all the cockroaches crawling around. They were about this big, had wings and fly around in here. One officer stated you could probably fit a small saddle on one of them for our meeting.
Let's go
So
for a
you can
ride.
imagine how the inmates feel about all this. They finally had enough of these living conditions, so they decided to do something about it. They started West Virginia's longest and most violent riot.
Yeah, I was just watching that earlier. That's crazy.
What year was that?
New Year's Day riot of 1986.
Okay, that was what I was reading.
Yep.
Yeah, the video.
200 plus inmates took over the entire prison. 16 officers were actually taken hostage, and 3 inmates were brutally murdered. Those 3 inmates were your typical snitches, rats, or informants. The term snitches get stitches doesn't even work here. It's just snitches get dead.
Yeah.
They find you and kill you in the most horrific ways possible. The leader of the riot just so happens to be Danny Lehman, who was also the leader of the Avengers motorcycle gang within the prison. Very dangerous group. Came up with a list of 15 demands to end the riot. Sat down with the warden and Governor Archmore, and they only granted 1 demand.
Was that the guy in the video screaming out the window, the front?
Danny Lehman.
I think so. Yeah. He was saying a bunch of commands, screaming through one of the front windows to the police on the street.
Could have been.
I don't think that. Yeah, I wasn't sure the name.
Yeah.
This sounds about him. Sounds
Yeah,
like
probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that one demand that they granted was just to build a brand new cafeteria that actually had central air and heat in much cleaner conditions. So you can imagine how they feel about that one. Well, they had 2 choices. Do you keep pushing for more and risk losing it, or do you settle and have one good thing about the prison? Well, he met with the warden. He said, listen, if you give us that cafeteria that actually had central air and heat, we'll give you the 16 officers back.
Yep.
So they actually worked together, and 2 good things happened. But the bad thing is, the riot actually lasted for 56 hours straight. This entire town of Moundsville was shut down for 2 days. It's a complete nightmare.
Yeah, it's wild.
So now we get to talk about all this fun stuff. This is contact visitation for the new wall inmates. You had 25 tables in here. Families came in just like we did, only allowed 1 kiss and 1 hug at the door. The rest of your hour was just simply holding hands.
Right.
But you can imagine all the little kids back then were too scared to even come in here. A lot of dads didn't get to see their children, so 2 inmates noticed all that. Smitty Harding and Sean Adams. They got permission to paint all of this and make it more kid-friendly. And it actually helped the kids to come in here. One of them actually was colorblind. That's why if y'all know anything about the Ninja Turtles, you'll notice how they're all wrong. Oh yeah. But I just tell everybody, even though we got some jacked up looking Ninja Turtles, we actually have the world's most muscular unicorn at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got my
Oh, yeah.
dragon.
This little display is also inmate made in bedroom shape. They built it in 1987 for the Mound Museum across the street, which if y'all have time after this, go check it out because it's free admission. Got a beautiful museum, you get to walk all the way to the top of that big hill. That just so happens to be North America's largest Indian burial mound. It's well over 3,000 years old. That's who these guys represent here at the Dina tribe. They were just mound builders, but now in the middle of the mountains are buried their high chiefs. Only 2 of them were buried in that big thing, but the rest of the natives were buried around it and under our feet. So we built this prison on top of one of the largest Indian graveyards. funny story about that little kid's face missing?
I was just gonna ask you that.
Yep, they are shut down the prison, but we're still owned by the state of West Virginia and the Department of Corrections. So the first week of May each year, this whole prison shut down to the public and the workers, because you have over 2,000 correction officers here from all over the world. Yeah, they're here just the entire week training. They even reenact the '86 riot and call it the mock riot just for training. Years ago, we had 2 Marines in here with their night vision goggles on. You can imagine being in a pitch black prison with night vision goggles. Things might creep you out. For whatever reason, one of the Marines ended up in this display messing around. We still don't know what he was doing in here. Well, he got scared by a sound. He turned around and the little boy scared him so bad he took his rifle and shot his face off.
Had to be the Marines.
He just told us he used the butt of his rifle.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Needless to say, they have never been back since.
That's
We're
right.
gonna go check out the main dining room hall, and now we just call it Shadow Man Hallway.
Shadow Man Hallway.
Cleared everything out and disposed of it? And the highest sleep is just way creepier.
Every time I walk in this hallway, it's blinding. This is your main dining room hall. Like I said, old cafeteria, none of the walls were here, so you can kind of get a better idea on just how big this room was. Starts down there at the red bars, goes all the way into that open room with the chain link fence and then some. But now we just call it Shadow Man Hallway, because back in 2004, a group of people spent the night here for their own fun and amusement. Yeah, what y'all are gonna be doing tonight.
Sounds familiar.
11 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if y'all know this or not, the 2 tour guides are here with you, but we don't come with you. We just hang out in the gift shop all night, give you a paper map of the whole property, and just let you loose all by yourselves for 6 hours in a pitch black prison.
Sounds like my.
Oh yeah, kind of fun hanging out in the gift shop, because every once in a while you might hear a blood curdling scream. Oh yeah.
We heard that in Ohio last year.
You're talking about us screaming, right?
Yeah.
Sort of figured.
Yeah, man,
That's
I-
what he was talking about.
Well, Miss Paula Jeter, back in 2004, she was walking in this hallway all by herself. She heard something metal back there clinging. She turned around, and underneath the cafeteria where it stood a very large full-figure black shadow thing staring at her. She also noticed how it was transparent and how the figure acknowledged the flashlight. That really freaked her out.
Oh, yeah.
So she just wanted to make sure she wasn't going crazy or anything in here, so she just pulled out her old Polaroid camera, snapped a picture of the door. When it printed out, she caught it.
Nice.
Got a copy of it in the museum, but you can just get on Google and type in West Virginia Shadow Man. All kinds of pictures pop up.
Huh.
That's just what brought in all the famous ghost shows from the Travel Channel.
That's been a picture we saw in the video somewhere.
Probably.
Y'all familiar with MTV Fear?
Yeah.
They filmed their first episode here,
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that.
and now they're banned.
From this location?
What did they do?
They defaced one of the basements.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course.
They painted a couple things in Mothman saying that it was original.
Oh, boy. I thought I saw him last night driving in.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
We're gonna go check out the new cafeteria, so we'll get to see what ended the riot.
Well, we get to see this thing.
What are they doing back there? Holding each other's hands? Sing, sing, sing. What is going on? Oh. So this, I know this, that guy, he painted that one. He was, I forget the story of the guy who painted that one.
This is your new cafeteria. It was completed in
Yeah, that's right.
1988. This was the only room in the entire prison that actually had central air and heat. So that's why nothing bad happened in here, because none of the inmates wanted to lose it. So I just go over a couple things and then kind of let y'all free roam around here and check it out for yourselves. Your V-shaped room right there, you had an armed officer and a nurse with an unarmed officer standing in the hallway. Because if you needed to eat with your medication, you stopped there first. Well, that one officer's job only is to check all inside your mouth and make sure these inmates actually took their meds instead of cheat them. A lot of inmates like to hide their pills and take them back to their cell and build up a supply and make money off of them. We actually had one inmate in here who was so desperate to make some extra money, he took his state-issued razor and cut 4 slits on the inside of his mouth. Put a pencil eraser in each cut, so when the cuts healed around the erasers, he flicked them out and had 4 pockets to stash his pills in.
What?
Oh, if
That's
y'all think
desperate.
bad, I got one way worse than that later on. Up until the 1950s, every warden was required by the state for his wife and children to live in that house. So kids did grow up here. We even like to discount our hangings. We put another ad out that went something like, come watch 3 hangings for the price of 1.
Oh, wow.
Deal with that day is the first and third already had the noose ready to go, but they didn't have enough time to get the middle guy's noose around his neck because the gallows actually malfunctioned. So all he had done was his hands tied behind his back. They actually broke open and he fell face first to the first floor.
Dang.
He actually survived, but the warden saw that and ordered the paramedics to hook him up to a stretcher, so they did, hook them stretcher and all. No more than 4 inmates are allowed on these yards at one time, and all they get is an hour. That's why you see the beautiful wire up top. It's actually original from the 80s.
Oh, cool.
Stainless steel military grade Constantina wire. Every inch is razor and every 3 inches are butterfly hooks that dig into your muscle fibers.
Yep.
They feel you move or tense up, they will curl and dig deeper,
Yep.
bleeding you out in seconds. Give you an idea on how sharp and strong it still is. It was just designed by the Gillette razor company.
Oh, yeah.
I ran them things over with a Humvee before. It's not fun.
Slashes everything.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, inmates actually have tried to cross it to escape. Thing is, they were successful.
They were.
Some were, because they managed to get another inmate up there and use it
Yep,
as a
use
bridge.
him as a bridge.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, stay right there. Don't move.
Wait, buddy, please.
Yeah, didn't take long for him to die.
Oh, I
You're
bet.
my best friend. I don't like you anymore.
Wagon Gate was the first part of the prison ever built. The first inmate work crew first completed that. They actually crammed them in there like sardines, making them work 12-hour shifts around the clock, building all of this. Well, they finally completed North Hall, and they just put them in there and just used that for storage.
So, was there any hangings done there?
We used to think,
Okay.
because there's a drop door in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we actually realized after digging some more, we found out it was strictly the death house.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's kind of why we set up our fake hangings to scare everybody.
Right.
We'd have a mannequin dressed as an inmate. We'd get y'all under there, and when y'all least expect it, we'd pull our rope.
Pull it.
When was this destroyed? Like the gallows and all that? Do you know what year approximately?
That was, I want to say 62 or 63. Kind of watch your head.
Watch your head.
Yeah, short people.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're kind of, yeah, Karen, you're fine.
Yes, I am.
Yep.
I can see you guys having trouble tonight.
So what I'm going to do, we're going to hang out right here in front of these 4 cells, because I'm going to share a little short story of a murder that happened right here.
Oh, here he is.
No, it's that one right over there.
Yeah. Just the end one.
Now, we had 4 main gang members of the Aryan Brotherhood in these 4 cells.
Sorry.
That first cell right over there was the leader, William H. Snyder, and they called him Red. He was actually one of the scariest inmates we had here at the time because he knew all the new officers' information before they said hello. He already knew your first and last name, your social security number, your family members' names, and where everybody lives. Yeah, well, second cell, Bruce White, Rusty Lassiter, Elijah Blue Sarton. Elijah was second in command, but he thought it was his turn to be in charge because he thought he could do better than Red of running the gang. So he wanted him killed, but he didn't want to do it himself, so he made Rusty do it because he actually owned Rusty within the gang. Told him, if you don't kill Red, I'm going to kill you. Take your pick. So Rusty didn't feel like not. He had to come up with an idea to kill the leader, and that was drugs. Red and Rusty were the only 2 inmates allowed on the yard together, and that was their thing. They like to take drugs before they go outside so that they could have a nice buzz out there. So Rusty slipped Red a little bit too much on purpose. Red didn't think to check it, he just took it. Next rec call came up, he walks right over to his cell and calls his name 4 times because he's that scared of him. Never got a response, so that's when he peeked in and saw Red still laying in bed for how messed up he was. That's when Rusty pulled out his shank and rushed in there and stabbed him 37 times in the chest, neck, and face. Last stab wound was through his left eye, and he ended up being asphyxiated, which means he drowned on his own blood right there underneath his bed.
And who did that to him?
Rusty.
Rusty did it to Red.
Yeah.
Which cell is this?
This is
This one?
Rusty's. That's Red's.
Okay.
I did.
So this
Okay,
is
good.
Rusty's.
Jesus, man, I picked the wrong place to stand.
We
I'm like,
cannot start off like
I'm
this,
like,
Shayla.
I'm here.
I actually had him as an inmate,
Oh, did you?
as a corrections officer over there pretty much
Wow.
every day. He was only in here on a 1 to 5 charge just for checkpoint.
Is he still alive? Really? How old is he?
He's like in his 80s.
Okay.
He thought it was his calling to kill 4 pedophiles in here, so he killed 4 of them, chopped one of them up, and hit them in a filing cabinet.
Now are all these
I'm not
stories
mad at him.
I'd have given paid
stories
time off.
from him? Has anybody heard stories directly from him? Or
I preferred not to ask him when I was there.
yeah. Hey
Yeah.
sir. So what happened?
So what happened over there?
Yeah.
I heard you and Red were friends.
Now this side is worse than those 4 sections. Because it's almost an incentive to do something terrible in here. Because you're just in those 4 cells all by yourself.
Look in here, Dan.
Oh yeah. I have pentagram.
Now this is North Hall. The nickname is Death Valley. From all the murders and suicides that happened in here. Out of the 998 inmate deaths, 450 of them happened right here. Well, it's because we were so overcrowded. We didn't have enough room for all these inmates that we were getting. So we kind of had to improvise. There's 160 cells in here, 4 tiers on each side. Each cell is 5 by 7. We had no choice but to cram 3 inmates per cell, every cell. You had a top bunk, a bottom bunk, and the third of the week one slept right here in the floor. But the inmates in the floor started sleeping with their heads by the doors, and a few of them were murdered that way. So say you wanted your cell door shut for some peace and quiet, and an inmate happens to walk by and sees you and already has a problem with you.
Yeah.
He's gonna pull out a shank, he's gonna look around, he's gonna bend down, put his arm through the beanhole and slit your throat while you're asleep.
Keep walking.
See, inmates would just stick their arms through that, that's your food tray slot, and then just cut their throat. So the inmates in the floors got scared and started putting their heads underneath the toilets. It's not much better because all the plumbing in here is connected by one, meaning I'm down there and I don't like whoever's over here, I'm just gonna keep clogging my toilet as much as I can.
Yeah.
Eventually it has to have somewhere to go, so when you go to flush it, it's not gonna blow out into your cell, it's gonna blow out into your neighbors, the next one, the next one, and the next one. All the inmates in the floors are waking up with fresh feces all over them. So how are these inmates making shanks? They're actually cutting through their doors. You'll notice the metal plates on the insides of the doors have pieces carved off of them. Yep, they're using 3 items that the state is already required to give them. Comet the cleaning chemical, which happens to be highly corrosive, dental floss, and a thin razor. So all they had to do was just wet the metal plates with the Comet, take only 1 string of dental floss or their thin razor, and just lightly rub it up against it. It's very tedious and time consuming, but eventually,
That's a huge piece right there.
oh yeah.
There's one here too. That's pretty big.
And then they use their floor as a whetstone to sharpen their shanks. That's why there's scratch marks in the floor. Now all this looks like a big bird cage. It's for the officer's protection.
Yeah.
If you were an officer walking down through here, you actually had to be in full riot gear at all times for how dangerous these inmates were. One officer got his face too close to the beanhole, and the inmate in that cell had stashed away a broomstick.
Oof.
Saw the officer's face, jammed it straight through as hard as he could, caught him right in the mouth, broke out all of his front teeth.
Oof.
It's kind of why you see grates in front of the bars to prevent solids from being thrown out.
Yeah.
A lot of the inmates back then, and still to this day, love to take their own feces, vomit, and blood, mix it together, and throw it in your face. They call it crap bombing
Yeah.
because they knew they had full-blown STDs, and the officers had families to go home to give to them.
That's so sick.
Oh yeah. Now, this section behind you is your gun wall. You have an armed officer trying to protect this officer, and each time he would go up a tier, he climbs up his ladder and ends up in his crow's nest. But you could also take a look at the ceiling fans and see how dusty they are. That is not dust. It is soot from the fires the inmates started in here. They'd set a lot of stuff on fire, throw them off the top, try to break through this to hurt the officer. but some parts of these square sections are bit down more than others, kind of like this one right here. Inmate bodies. If they
Watch
didn't
out.
like you, they'd set you on fire and throw you off the top as well.
Yep.
So a lot of inmates went crazy in here and couldn't handle the pressure, so a lot of them just started committing suicide left and right. Wouldn't be anything for you to be an officer down here and just see several inmates hanging in their cells.
That's wild.
Cell number 9 is the most decorated cell because it housed our tattoo artist nicknamed Scrappy.
Scrap.
Major Leonard Skinner, Guns N' Roses, Hank
Yeah.
Williams, and David Allan Coe fan. Got a lot of their lyrics on here.
Guns N' Roses.
Here's where an inmate started to make a shank but did not have enough time to finish.
Yep.
There's a big old cut right there.
And there's his sharpening marks.
God. On the ground.
Where did you see that?
Big scratch mark is a shank in the process of being made. He didn't have enough time to finish it, and there's his sharpening marks. Cell number 5 has the original porcelain toilet and sink. That's what they all used to look like until the inmates started making weapons out of them.
Ow.
How long were you a correctional officer?
Year and a half.
Enough.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Enough.
I thought about doing it. And I was like,
Inmates, I mean, I didn't have any problems with the inmates. It was
Right.
just administration and pay.
Sure.
We got a yearly contract with the National Guard over there now because we're so short-staffed.
No way. They've got guardsmen over there doing that?
But they're only in central control or the guard towers because they're not allowed to be around the inmates.
just shoot them if they get loose.
No, all we had was pepper spray.
All you had was pepper spray?
I could never.
That's nuts.
This cell is different.
Yeah.
It's our handicap accessible.
Oh, look, for
We got
wheelchairs.
in trouble because we weren't ADA compliant. So we literally just cut the wall out and put a piece onto the door.
Okay, because
See right
that
there.
was the worst of your non-compliant rules, right?
Here's how bad the measurements were. This is how much we didn't care about them.
Uh-huh.
Nice. You put a whole arm through there.
Oh yeah. Here's how we treated them. Say you were a handicapped inmate and you needed to take a shower. We're
Okay.
not going to push you over there. We're not going to allow another inmate to push you. So we're just going to take your wheelchair, fold it up, put it over there, waiting on you, put you in the floor, and make you crawl there.
That's so messed up.
Hell yeah.
But we did have one inmate by the name of Paul Hankish pull a fast one on us. Oh yeah, he was only in here for a few months, but he already knew the housing situation, 3 per cell, and he was not having it. So he actually claimed that he could not walk when he got to intake.
Oh.
And we believed him. So we put him in a wheelchair and put him in this cell all by himself. Thing is, on his last day here, he just stood up and walked right out the front door.
My man. He said, I'm not doing
What
that.
is this cell for? And like, why is it so?
Cleaning chemicals and supplies. Had to keep him away from the inmates.
Are you gonna open and close the cells for us? Can you still do that? Sweet. That's like the whole effect right there. Scary.
This is your day room. So say there's bad weather outside and you're not allowed to go out there for a rec yard. This is where you hang out. But you could have 4 grown men take a shower right beside you.
Right.
These are North Hall showers. Those shower heads are still up there.
Oh, wow.
You can't see them because they're that small, so I'm gonna walk in here and point each one out to you.
Oh, okay.
Imagine a 1/4-inch round pipe.
Okay.
There's your first one.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Second one, third one, and 4th one.
It's like the military taking a shower. Good.
Yeah, well, you'll notice how they don't
Sorry.
have controls.
Yeah.
It's because the officers did that, both temperature and pressure. Say you're in 200 degree cell and you come down here with an attitude, you're getting a hot stall shower that's gonna burn you and throw you right back into your cell. Same thing in the winter. Just temperatures. Now, I told you I had one better than the inmate with a razor in his mouth. All right, well, square cut out to the left.
Square cut out to the left. No, I don't.
I'll just walk over here.
Thank you.
Trust me, me too. Right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you wanted to go outside, you had to stop here and get completely nude. Pass the officer your clothes, and he's gonna thoroughly check them to make sure you're not carrying any weapons out to the yard, and then you have to squat and cough. You have to do that before and after, every time. Bruce White, Red's neighbor, managed to smuggle in a Derringer pistol.
Oh,
No way. I don't want to know.
I want to know. Keep going. Keep going.
Or you're thinking that's where it was.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, they actually got it out of him and realized it was fully loaded and no safety.
Oh.
Crow's Nest up here is the only one without a ladder. The only way to get in there is to crawl through a hole from the second floor. So we barely used it. But one officer actually liked being up there. He also thought he was Andy Oakley with his revolver. He got too cocky one day showing off tricks and accidentally shot himself in the leg up there.
Cool.
We actually put him in charge of the armory after.
That's a great move.
You're bad with guns, so here's the rest of them.
They told us we didn't think he would ever do it again.
Just don't
We're
shoot
gonna head
yourself.
out here in the back porch and go on into the administration hallway.
Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I wish I could take that down. I'm a gold ball.
Yeah, wait till he opens and shuts the cells.
Inside the hole, behind these bars, got all the sunlight they got. That's where y'all will go tonight.
Get locked up, Ronnie.
Goes underneath. Goes all
Oh,
the
so
way.
this is where I was telling you where the circle thing is?
Oh, okay.
This is actually the front entrance.
Kind of watch your step. You got the post office to your right, commissary and barber shop to your left.
There's the bird cage. Straight in front of
Yeah,
us.
you'll have access to them too. Oh, this is actually not good. The tiles on this side. Yep.
Does this look familiar?
Yes. Very.
Where?
All right, well, like I said, administration hallway, post office in here, commissary and barber shop in there. This prison actually used to be open to the public. Oh, yeah.
For those services?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
For post office, barbershop, stuff like
Uh-huh.
that?
Yeah, a lot of people from Moundsville went to the new cafeteria and purchased a plate made by the inmates for $1 and a nickel, saying that there's not a better deal in Moundsville than our prison food.
Oh.
Okay.
You could even bring your children or families into the barber shop, get their hair cut, because it was cheapest in town apparently. You could pay a quarter. Yeah, but your child is gonna be getting their hair cut done by the inmate barber who also happens to be a convicted murderer.
Right.
He would also use a straight razor on men. It never hurt anybody.
I would-
He actually got out of prison, moved to Texas and opened up his own shop.
I would have trusted him.
But you could even go into the commissary and purchase inmate made items to kind of decorate your house with. So in a way, we have a piece of Amish country.
Yeah.
But you just have to enter through the front door. If you want to go see the warden, just go upstairs here. But if you want to come over there, you got to enter the wheel. This is your revolving door.
That's cool.
Yeah, the coolest thing about it is there's only 2 of these in the entire world.
Yeah.
The second one is in Manchester, England, at Strangeways Prison.
Very cool.
There's still a functioning prison. This was controlled by a trolley car motor that's still down in the hole, and a big cloth belt on your upper spindle. The officer controlling the wheel is right behind these bars with this foot pedal and knob activating the wheel from in there. This floor is not original, like I said, but it's to match the original tiles on each side made in the 20s in Spain. Well, Netflix came in and took over. They couldn't find the tiles anymore, so they just took pictures of them and got this floor to match.
Yeah.
Customized linoleum. They filmed an episode of Mine Hunters. If y'all haven't seen it, it's the 9th episode with Richard Speck.
This is the same flooring as Waverly as well. Waverly's got the same where they ripped it all up.
If any of y'all are familiar with Stephen King's Castle Rock on Hulu, 3 episodes were filmed here.
Yep.
The actor Bill Arsgard, who plays Pennywise the Clown. He was acting as an inmate.
Nice. Now, have you ever been up to the? How does it look up there? Do you have pictures?
Completely condemned.
Oh, it is.
They have holes all in the floor that you can fall
Oh. And he would actually have his family living here with him. That's nuts.
through.
Now, what would like if he had kids? What would they do for school and stuff? Just
Oh, they just
homeschool?
go out the front door and
well, just like in a normal day. Just you live at a prison.
Mhm.
That's nuts.
well, yeah. We even had Christian Bale here.
Oh, cool.
Batman.
I think I can picture.
I don't care.
Okay, I just want to make sure before you.
Smile.
Just make sure it doesn't break it. Yeah.
He's like, get my good side.
Can we go in
We
there?
actually had Christian Bale in here acting as an inmate filming his movie Out of the Furnace.
Out of the furnace. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you can go in there if you want. Tell people I would love to get that redone and have like Airbnb.
So cool. That would be, I would stay.
Just for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's me and that.
This is cool. It's like a big bird cage.
Oh yeah.
If I was a cartoon character.
Here, he found out his son was getting fired, so he got a little upset, took it upon himself to go up to the roof and open up all the roof hatches.
So that's where the warden would stay, right there, above us.
No, this is,
Oh.
this is what the floors look like.
Oh,
You could actually throw a water bottle up there and watch it fall all the way back down.
that's a shame.
But this is just your old kitchen. You had 2 inmates tap into the water lines in here without anybody knowing. They were making inmate julep, homemade alcohol.
Mm.
Yeah, well, nowadays it's just called hooch.
Hooch.
It's the worst thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. I tell people if I saw a dead raccoon right here and I had a bottle of hooch right here, I'd stick my face in that before I smelled it. Because it's water, bread, sugar, fruit, and they let it rot and ferment and
Rot.
drink it.
Yep.
These inmates actually were smart about it and turned it into a honey-like substance.
Oh.
Make peanut butter and julep sandwiches and ate them right there in front of the officers while they got their own.
Oh, but this is improvisation.
Playground, because they were allowed out here anywhere from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night.
I like this one a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, this is your well-behaved side.
Yeah.
If you look at Tower 4, you can actually see the work done between the inmates versus the contractors.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, the inmates did a much better job. School buses and the obstacle course are not original. The state just uses those for training. These bars are actually movie props from Out of the Furnace that they forgot about and left here. Now the chapel is also inmate built. A lot of churches around town helped them raise $20,000 to help build it.
Oh, wow.
They even allow these inmates' significant others to come in here and get married there.
Oh.
Now my beautiful bathrooms, they're also inmate built, but whenever they built them, they put a wall all the way around it, and actually had stalls in there so you can kind of imagine what kind of stuff happened in there.
Oh, yeah.
One inmate almost got beat to death in that stall. Well, the warden that we had at the time was Gordon Kircher, who was also a Marine veteran from the Korean War. We strictly hired him because he was that good. He took it upon himself to tear down the wall, out the stalls, and all the inmates would come and act like he was going to use the bathroom line, no problem. White building here is your inmate radio station. They call themselves WPEN. Yeah. Now, the field over here, you had a lot of fun stuff going on. You had all kinds of baseball games, softball tournaments, football games, even had our own boxing ring set up for boxing nights. Yeah. Like I said, open to the public. If you were born in town, you wanted something to do, just come play sports with the inmates. We even had traveling teams come here and play against them, even the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, wow.
And the inmates won.
Oh, no.
Typical.
What, do you know around what year that would have been? Or time frame? Like 60s, 50s?
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Mid 1900s, early
Oh, okay.
yeah. They like to whistle at them, but they had a very specific game that they like to play. Yeah, well, they also wanted to see how long it took these inmates to realize that they're being peed on.
Oh.
Well, that shower's actually warm today. Pretty good.
Now, this is a new wall. We started construction in 1929 and completed it in 1959. 30 years to build all of this. You have 4 cell blocks in this big room. You got J block here, K block behind it, L block over there. and M block behind it. About 75 cells on each side. We only put 1 to 2 inmates in these cells. I actually had an inmate that was housed on this side for 10 years who came back for a tour and brought his grandson.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
He told me back then you could pick and choose if you wanted to cellmate or not.
Wow.
Then he kind of just lifted up his shirt and showed everybody where he got shanked and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
I know, right?
Show and tell.
Now the nickname for this room is Migraine City. Because you can hear, you can hear a good old, hey go!
Wow.
Keep going and going.
The inmates in here ran 24/7. Had their TVs, radios blasted full volume because they didn't like what somebody else was listening to, screaming, hollering, all kinds of noise. It was bad for the officers because they had to stand here and listen to it for 12 to 16 hours every day.
$8 an hour.
Yeah, we also had officers who left here with hearing loss just from standing in this room.
Yeah.
How loud it got.
I'm flipping on my leg over.
Well, are y'all wanting to get locked up?
Let's do it.
I'm down.
5 cells to choose from.
I'll get it cell.
1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
5.
Sorry, I'm taking your wife.
I'll be at the second tier. When I come down,
Going
when
down.
y'all are locked in, I'm going to see if you want me to use your cell phone to take a picture of it.
Do not use. Roddy, I think we're getting locked up right now.
Yeah.
They're about to shut the gates on us.
Yeah. They're gonna get us. We's bad.
Stop touching me, Roddy. We're about to get locked in, guys. Oh shit.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. Cause I'm locked up, they won't let me out. How you feel, Rodney?
I feel good. They open the door up, they can leave 6 closed.
Open 6, please.
I'll get you a picture of it. No, you can leave it
Okay,
closed.
good.
Leave it closed. Yeah, I want a picture. You get a picture on the shooter, might as well get one in the cell.
What?
Who wants a picture now?
Hey, touch. There's holes. I'm touching my. Rodney, look. Boy, let me take this off.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. That's a good Christmas card.
Now you're gonna let us out, though, right?
Yeah. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
So I'm locked up.
Let's start the camera back up. I'll send you that one.
Yeah. My camera's about to die.
Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. That ain't good.
Hey, Scooby-Doo is saying, ruh-roh.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Oh, you're not allowed out. You're done.
What happened? It don't work no more! Oh, shit!
Oh, he broke. It's broke.
I think y'all were stoked. I gotta come down there and do it manually. Hold on.
Yeah, he's got to do it manually. Sorry.
That's for real.
Sorry.
That's a funny shit right there.
It is so.
She's over here sweating like.
And we were in 6, just so for future reference, mister.
Yeah, you guys can't count.